So last night I went to the movies and saw Joker 2, and it was very, very interesting. So let's review it. Now, for the first ever time on this channel, there's good of the movie and there's bad of the movie. Usually there's always I always stick to the lighter side of the movies and say what I really enjoyed, and usually there's never anything bad to say about it. But this time around there is. So let's just get to the positives first. I really liked the beginning, the little cartoon. That was very creative. It was really, really well done. And the cinematography in this movie was way better than the first movie. I really enjoy seeing a beautifully shot movie. Another thing I really liked about this movie was the portrayal of Arthur Fleck, the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix really does an amazing job. He really is an amazing actor. He should get an Emmy or something, a reward for playing this character. He does a phenomenal job. Now, I also really like the courtroom scenes. Those were amazing, where we get to see Arthur Fleck in his Joker attire, speaking British, which was hilarious, but really, really well done, all the court scenes. And the actual prison scenes were, I think, pretty well done. The officers were terrible people. They even killed an inmate, which I don't think you're able to do. You're not allowed to do that, but they did it anyway. Another thing I really liked was the ending. The ending for this movie was honestly perfect. Now, it was a little interesting because the way it ends is the real Joker, the Joker that goes on to fight Batman, kills Arthur Fleck, meaning that the previous movie was not an origin on the real Joker. It was just a random guy who had a mental disability and went crazy and killed a few people, and goes by the alias of Joker. But we get to see the real Joker in the mental hospital, and he kills Arthur Fleck. And even in the background, as you're zooming in on Arthur's lifeless body, you get to see the inmate cut his face, giving us the infamous scars of the Heath Ledger Joker, or the Joker we go to follow in The Dark Knight, which I thought was stupid because from my viewpoint of these past two movies, what I thought was that everything that had to do with the Joker in the first movie was actually his origin, was the Dark Knight Joker origin story, but it wasn't. It was just, like I said, a mentally ill person who went by the alias of Joker. So that really was a bit confusing and a bit disappointing because these two movies were supposed to be about Joker's origin, not the person that inspired the real Joker, which ended up being, because Arthur Fleck did inspire the real Joker. He even stole his line, "You get what you effing deserve," before he freaking gutted Arthur, basically. But yeah, that was basically all I really enjoyed about the movie, because I feel like they stretched it out a lot. I mean a lot. They stretched it out, a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. And I think this was like maybe an hour and 50 minutes. It did not need to be the runtime it was. But also a minor positive, but there were some things that were wrong with this. The portrayal of this version of Harley Quinn. This version of Harley Quinn is played by Lady Gaga, and you could really tell because this is a musical, which brings me to my negatives. The musical element was very, very unnecessary and just completely rails off of everything that has been established in the previous movie. It was not a musical in the previous movie, so I don't even know why this movie was a musical. I mean, sure, only one of but everything that had to do with the musical elements, man, were very, very disappointing, and honestly really brought me down with this movie, because there's 50% songs and 20% story. It's terrible, you know? I wish I could say more positive things about this movie, because I really wanted to come out loving this movie, because I loved that first Joker, but this movie was just not really that enjoyable. My family hated it, that's for sure. They made that really, really clear that they hated the movie, but there were obviously some good things about the movie and some really bad things. Of course, I did already mention that, but I just am so mad about all the musical elements. It did not need to happen. Of course, freaking Lady Gaga dragging in a musical element. If she wanted music to be in this movie, recast her. A musical artist should not be in a regular movie because then they'll want that to be a musical. And all the musical scenes were very, very poorly done. But also, a thing that I really also liked about the movie was the final courtroom scene where a bomb goes off. And honestly, that jump scared me in the theater. I did not expect that. Like, from 1 second it was silent and relaxing to the next, the courtroom was blown up, half of the people killed, and Arthur Fleck just runs for it. Well, people kidnap him, and then Arthur, for some reason, instead of staying with them and escaping, he leaves to find Harley, and Harley, doesn't like him anymore, because during the courtroom scenes, he was like, I'm not Joker, I'm Arthur Fleck, which was another very stupid scene, but now she lost all her respect for him, so that scene with the two of them were very unnecessary, I guess, just for this. I'm honestly kind of disappointed with the character of Harley Quinn in this movie. Very, very poorly done, and very unneeded, because ultimately this movie just clearly was like, we're not telling the story of the Joker that goes on to face Batman. We're telling the story of a regular person that went by the alias of Joker, and just so happened that that Joker inspired the real Joker, which is so stupid. Then why would you have, like, a Harley Quinn type character? Very, very stupid, very messy. Like, I've been reading reports about people walking out mid-movie, and I don't blame them. I really don't. But since this movie was a disappointment, this ushers in a new era for my channel. What we're gonna start doing with new movie releases is ranking them. So highest is the Mr. Movie Guarantee, which you should definitely see this in theaters. 100%, it's a perfect movie. Then if I recommend you see it in theaters, just go to the theater, casual about it. If you rent it at home, if I recommend you watch it at home, then it's kind of low bar, kind of bad. And if it's total crap, then I'll recommend you don't watch this at all. And Joker 2, if you're a fan of Joker, watch it at home. Do not go to the movies. Don't spend your hard-earned money going to the movies and seeing this. Watch it at home. That's really all I have to say. And ranking it that low means like a 5 out of 10 movie. But we're not like going by numbers anymore. We're going by the system that I just established. So it definitely falls under the category of just watch it at home. Watch it at home, wait till it comes to streaming. Because I bet maybe like November, December, it'll be on Max and you and your family could just watch it then. But that's really all I have to say about this movie. Bye, guys.